Pharaoh is pleased?
The obelisk, yes. But not at certain accusations made against you.
By whom?
You raided the temple granaries?
Yes.
You gave the grain to the slaves?
Yes.
You gave them 1 day and 7 to rest?
Yes.
Did you do all this to gain their favor?
The city is built of brick, Pharaoh. The strong make many, the starving make few. The dead make none. So much for accusations. Now judge the results.
When listening to that and keeping the balance, it reminds me of the movie The Ten Commandments. Satan comes in and said, you ain't going to say that in front of them people. And I said, I sure am. You know, the prophet watched it, and he recommended that you watch it. He said the world would be judged by watching that movie. And it reminds me there's a scene that was on there that came in, and it was when Ramesses was bringing accusations against Pharaoh. He came in, and Pharaoh came in, and you know the part, I'm sure all of you have seen it 100 zillion times. And Ramesses sat down, and he walked over and he sat down by a balancing scale. You remember that? He sat down there, and he says, he sits down by it, and so Pharaoh starts talking to Moses. And he says, there's accusations against you. What are they? He says, you robbed the temple granary. He said, yes, I did. Clink. He puts his little weight inside the scale. He says, you give the grain to the slaves. Yes. Bonk. Went down. And he says, then you give them 1 day and 7 the rest. Yes. Pharaoh hits it. Clink. Bonk. And went straight down. I love how Moses, he turned around, he walked over and he picked up the brick and he answered Pharaoh. And he said, I think that this could be spiritually applied to the day. He said, the city is built with bricks, Pharaoh. He says, the strong make many, the starving make few, the dead make none. Bunk. He says, so much for accusations. He says, now, view the results. And he come and he pulled back the curtain, and here is this, the most beautiful, biggest city that was ever built. Ramesses had built that city. Amen? Today, their balance isn't balanced. One, most of them, they preach every service. Two, or play a tape maybe once a month on a Wednesday night. Or three, say you shouldn't play tapes at all inside of your church. Blunk. Our brick is the voice of God, the tapes. Bam! Bam! So much for accusations. These tapes, the strong hear many, the starving only listen to the few, and the dead don't listen at all.